In today's satsang, we will inquire into the nature of Maya or illusion on the larger scale. When one takes the whole world into consideration, it is nothing but the expression of Maya. It is the play of Maya. All the powers that one sees that are manifested in this cosmos and appears as the world are the powers of Maya. In English, we can actually term this word as illusion. Illusion. What does it mean? It means unreal. It doesn't have any existence of its own. It doesn't exist at all. But only upon a person taking up the inquiry, he comes to be aware of the truth that there existed never this illusion. This illusion never existed at all. But as of now, for a non-seeker, a commoner who wants to know, who really approaches this, what is this? Is there any truth beyond this manifested world, manifested existence? For him, we are going to inquire together, what is this all about? All that is seen are the powers of Maya or illusion. All that is seen, experienced, that which is manifested is illusion. Because an individual, how he approaches this? By his thinking capacity only. He thinks. A man thinks. What is his thinking constituted of? It is basically name and form. Be it a tree, mango tree or a coconut tree, immediately the name comes along with it. When you see a form, the name comes along with it. We should have an understanding of common sense. It's a common sense. First, whether the name comes first or the form comes first. First, there must be the form. Then only the name is ascribed to it. One gives a name to it. First, the child is born, and then only the name is given to the child. A name is given to it. In the same way, this whole cosmos is, how is it connected in an individual? He thinks the whole world in terms of forms and names. That is how his mind works. The moment one gets up from deep sleep or during the waking state, What is the thinking that is going on in every one of us? We think in terms of forms, visuals, images, video, related experiences, and the sentences or the emotions or the feelings that are going attached with it. Isn't it? The same way, that is what for Maya or illusion, the Vedantins, the seers of the truth. Vedanta, the word actually means the end of knowing, the end of knowledge. The end of knowledge actually culminates in self-realization. Self-realization is Vedanta. That is what one should actually take the meaning for it. Vedanta means antam, means end, the end of knowledge. Where does the knowledge end? How can we bring end to this knowledge? It ends upon one knowing really who one is. Who one really is. This is what gives him the authority or the conviction that he is everything. He is the very being. He is the pure intelligence. Here, the whole manifestation is also falling under his sensory perceptions. He sees everything, the manifested world around him. Crores and crores of human beings all around the earth, all over the earth. And the structures, and the oceans, mountains, the moon, sun, everything. What are all they? What are their source? What is the source of everything? That is what the culmination is Vedanta. He understands his core is pure intelligence. It is the easiness that is beyond time, beyond space. It doesn't appear or disappear objectively, because false only has a limited period of time in existence, and that appears and disappears along with the seer of it. The seer also got trapped in the appearance of his own physical body, thereby in him, by birth, he is enmeshed in ignorance or avidya. At the individual level, the same Maya or illusion, for an individual, it is being called as avidya or ignorance. So, wherever one sees names and forms, one should realize that they are the play of Maya or illusion. Actually, this word has arisen out of, upon inquiry, one has thoroughly investigated and found the things which appear are unreal. They are not real. They are not permanent. They are not everlasting. That which is real is not conditioned in time. So that is the basic thing. Upon inquiry, he has found out the nature of world of appearance as unreal, transitory, fleeting, temporary realities. So they don't have anything of their own to self-illumine. They are inert, jada, unreal. They depend on one source, the one source being the pure intelligence, pure easiness that pervades beyond time and space, which need not come in a form, appear in a form, the moment anything objectively appears, that must also disappear, because nothing has a permanent reality. Objective realities are all the play of Maya. They have nothing original of their own. It's just like in all the oceans, the water is salty. So wherever one sees name and form, one can understand that it is nothing but an illusion. It doesn't have anything originality of its own. See, we see in the objective world the levels of intelligence from the one cell amoeba plant to the sixth sense. That is what a human being is endowed with. That is the intellect. See, up to the fifth level, intelligence is there. The animating beings are there. The sensory beings are there. But their senses are all constricted within certain powers, and they do not have an intellect of their own to look within. See, up to the animal kingdom also has the sensory perceptions, but they are all confined. They cannot turn within and look what are their feelings are, what is their bodies are, what are their bodies are, what are their physical bodies made up of, and they cannot inquire anything at all. They are bound under that physical body, in that physical body, and they react instinctively to the feelings of the body. That is what their existence is. The only being in this whole of the cosmos, in the whole of this creation, the physically manifested universe, is the intellect that is being endowed in a human being, is the only being that enjoys the highest intelligence, because he has the capacity to look, isolate himself, to separate himself as his body, his location as that, and others are something different from it. Okay. And the same thing also works as a trap, because the same intellect accumulates, gathers the self-centered activities also in him. He isolates himself as I am, me, by me, with me, from me, for me, mine, my family, my nation, my knowledge, my property, my wealth, my status, all these things. So the same problem is also the same thing, the same intellect creates this problem also in him. He gathers, he separates himself continuously since millennia, identifying with different bodies in which the intellect appears and disappears as an individual. He started living away from the reality, apart from the reality, as a separate intelligent being, whereas whether he has any separate intelligence, is he a pure intelligent being? Are thoughts intelligent? Are feelings intelligent? If they are intelligent, they should never cease to exist. They should always be there. One cannot fall asleep also. And at the moment of death, the body should resist its cremation. The intelligence should prevail. If thoughts are intelligent, they should not disappear. If the feelings are intelligent, they should not go away from him at all, at any point in time, whether it is in 24-hour cycle or in one lifespan. So, for all these things, we will have to simultaneously probe, inquire, investigate at the larger level also, at a grander level as the cosmos, and at the individual level as ignorance in one. How it has come to be? What is it? This illusion is. What is this? The nature of Maya, or the thing which doesn't exist as something, as a reality. That we will have to inquire. Here we see the light source. During our waking states, we see the whole earth is being lit only by one sun. The whole of the globe, whole of this earth, this planet, derives light from only one source, that is the sun. Sun is the head of this family. At all water bodies, though crores and crores are reflections of sun are reflected, the original sun is away at the center of this solar family. And in an individual, whether an individual dreams a good dream or a bad dream, a painful dream or a pleasurable dream, whatever the dreams that are being dreamt is due to the power of deep sleep state. One should totally become traceless, with none of his identifications existing. One falls asleep, and there in that darkness of ignorance, suddenly of its own, something like a magic, dreams arise in one. So all these dreams, be it good or bad, what is the source of them? The source is the deep sleep state. The platform is deep sleep. Just like in the movie theater, how the whole theater is put into darkness and the movie is projected through the projector inside the theater on a white screen, and everything comes alive. The electrical or electronic dreams that comes alive. So in the same way, it is because of the power of deep sleep, the dreams are coming out. One is dreaming different dreams. Wherever we see the plants or the trees, the total biology, wherever all this plants, trees, everything that have come to be, that is because of the seeds. If we see a tree, we can immediately, there must have been a seed that got deposited in the soil and that has become this tree. And in the sky or in the trees, wherever we see the birds, we can immediately come to know that they have come out of the eggs. The eggs got hatched and the birds have come out of it. In the same way, for this contemporary world also, just think of the children who are born in the last 10 years and what their assumptions about this world would be. How will they be thinking about this world? Because all around we see the electronic media has pervaded the complete earth. The internet, the computers, the TVs, and for transportation, the aeroplanes. Just think of a boy or a girl of 8 years, 9 years or 10 years. What they are thinking about these things would be, they must be thinking, all these things must be existing time immemorially. They must be existing since millennia. So it is very normal, it is very natural that these things have existed. The computers have existed, and people have been transacting, doing their business or day-to-day things only out of these transportations called aeroplanes, and all this TV media, the cinema media, and they all have been existing, and computers in the banks and in all the places, in the home PCs, home computers, and the internet and everything for communication. They all have been existing. This must be their assumptions. They are taken for a total surprise by birth. As they grow, they would be assuming only like this, isn't it? Generally, but in the transcendent state, but for a person who is probing, who is investigating, and who has come to know that these are not real, he himself undergoing 3 different states in a 24-hour life cycle. What is it? The waking state, the dreaming state, and the deep sleep. Not necessarily one dreams every night during sleep. So these 2 states mostly, and the dream state and the waking state are the states which are all something happening out of a projection, out of some dream or a real world there to exist during the waking state. One thinks the waking state as something real, and it is also a state of knowingness. That is why these 2 states are the states of knowingness, and one state in which, that is the deep sleep state, totally the individual himself ceases to exist. So that being the 3rd state. These are all happening in cycle in a 24 hours span of life and throughout life. In Vedanta, or in the process of realization, they have given some examples. In Vedanta literature, these examples were given, and those examples can be quoted at any point in time, even in centuries of years later also. These same examples can be quoted. And those examples, I'll tell you, the first example they generally give is about this Maya, or the illusion. A snake in a rope. Given a particular situation or the lighting in a room or in your backyard or in some place where a rope or a belt, nowadays we put the belt around our waist, that belt that is being hung, and given a particular kind of lighting, it suddenly gives its shadow, or it itself, the rope itself or the belt itself, gives a feeling of like a snake actually hanging over there, isn't it? How one sees in a belt a snake or in a rope a snake? Because of the particular way of lighting only, the snake comes to be. The fear of snake that already one has got, that comes into the forefront upon seeing a shadow of a rope or a belt that is being hung, isn't it? And the same case, they give some more examples also. In the morning times, in a particular twilight timing, on a wooden plank that is being covered, suddenly one is mistaking it for a man who stole something and hid himself under a blanket, as if it is their own, in their own house, that wooden plank is there and that is being covered with a cloth, and they mistake it for being a man who has stolen something and hid himself under that blanket. So they find a plank to be a man. This is also out of a deluded vision. In the same way, in the seashell, one sees the silver during night times. One mistakes the seashell to be that of a silver and mistakes it. When upon inquiry, when he brings that out in a public area where it is well lit, he sees that it is only a shell. It is not actually the silver at all. And in the same way, the mirage that is being seen on a dry land during summer seasons, there is no water at all to quench one's thirst. That mirage, upon inquiry, upon investigation, if we approach that mirage and see, there never existed water at all. In the same way, the empty sky that is there, that is expanding all over around this planet and cosmos, there is an inherent blue color during daytime that is being seen. In a clear sky, there is an inherent color, this blue color. But does the sky have any color? It doesn't have any color at all of its own. But we see a color. But it is because of sun's light only. There is no color at all, even for light. The light only is a white color, a transparent color. But upon the objects, it shades different colors, isn't it? In that white color, all the 7 colors are included already. And a sleeping man who's in his dream, he creates some other world or some other location or place wherein he is taking a bath, he is actually taking a bath in the sea, he is swimming in the sea or he is swimming in a lake, and those whole of the environment he dreams within that 5 feet or 6 feet body, within his neurons in his brain, the dream has arisen and he undergoes that same dream. Whereas for an onlooker who is a bystander, for him nothing has been created in that particular man to disappear later. So these are all illusory things. The whole cosmos is so. As if it gives during the waking state an authenticity, as if a reality, something to be depended upon. But it is not the case. Only upon inquiry, one finds it as an illusion or Maya. So actually, the word also gains relevance or meaning from the angle of a person who has investigated it, the truth of this whole waking state. For him only it is an illusion, and for others who are one with it, who takes it real, and for them the illusion has not yet been gotten rid of. That is the